Now we're going to look at the blade. This looks in pretty rough shape. Hopefully it's not as bad as it looks when I get the rust off it. I'm going to take that to the wire wheel it down, and I'll be right back. As I suspected, this blade is it's quite rusted. The wire wheel didn't quite get the rust off good enough for me anyhow. So got a piece of 120 grit wet dry. Same technique as on the saw and the base. And again, I'm using WD-40 here. Probably should have just used the cleaner. The only reason I really like to use the liquid is it keeps the sawdust down and I don't have to worry about wearing a mask. You can see that's starting to look quite a bit better. Now that I've got the major of the rust off, I'm going to take it over to the deburring wheel and finish it up. Again, if you don't have a deburring wheel, you could just keep going with sandpaper. Take that right up to 3000 grit if you'd like. Make it nice and shiny. It's really up to you. Typically, I don't want it too shiny if I'm trying to make it look original, because they didn't come nice and shiny, although they were new at one time, and we want them to look good. So now I'm going to sharpen it. I mean, you see I got a little bit of nicks to get out of there. Although based on what I see here, I'm not sure this was ever actually sharpened before. This isn't really meant to be a sharpening video, but I did tell you that I would show you how I do it. So here's how I do it. This is set to 25 degrees. Everything I sharpen is set at 25 degrees. Well, maybe not everything, but pretty close to everything. Now, because I'd have to go back and forth with the camera, I'm not going to do it on this one. But typically what I do, just so I don't get this hot, other than dipping it in water, I go back and forth between flattening the back and grinding the bevel. And that way, because I'm using a liquid when I flatten the back, and I'm using a liquid here, but I'm flattening the back by hand, it helps me keep this cool, and it kind of keeps me focused, because I tend to, if I just grind, I go too fast, and then I wind up getting a hot spot, and I don't want to do that. I'm out of water. And I find that the different steels in these different blades heat up differently. In other words, there are some blades that I have to dip almost after every stroke, and there's some I can take a few. Now this wheel is rounded slightly, so I'm basically hitting in the center, and it can keep the blade moving, even though this isn't a slow speed grinder. I don't overheat the wheel, don't overheat the blade. I do have a slow speed grinder, but I find it way too slow. And if there's one thing to figure out about me, I don't really have a whole lot of patience. So I'm just going to keep doing that until I get all those nicks out. I don't think you need to sit there and watch me do that for the next 5 or 10 minutes, whatever it takes. But I'll show you back when we're ready to do the back. So now we're going to do the back of the blade. So these are my diamond stones, and they work fairly well. But as you can see, the back of this is fairly rusted. So I want to get kind of aggressive with this. So what I typically do when I have that scenario is I wet this a little. And this is a piece of 120 grit paper. Now the water on the stone helps keep that in place. And it's wet dry paper again. I've got this block of wood here. That just helps me keep pressure even. And as you can see, it does a pretty good job fairly quickly. There is some pitting in there that I hope comes out fairly easy. And I have had to take this back to 80 grit at times. And then I will work up through to 3000 grit paper. And again, I don't think you need to watch me spend the next 5, 10, 15 minutes, whatever it's going to be to get that out. But you get the idea. Just keep working at it until it gets to the point that you want it. And then I'll come back once that's polished up. I will show you how I sharpen it.